Hello again and welcome to another edition of Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the breeding, keeping and showing of Exhibition Budgerigars. Well, in this video we're going to have a look at how the shed is going, how the breeding season is going, and just a general update. And of course we're now in that routine phase, I suppose, of the breeding season where we've got young birds in the nappy flight that are developing, and we're keeping an eye on how they're developing. And we did look at that in the last video. And if you haven't seen that video, please, I put a link across the top of the screen, go and have a look at that now. And in terms of the other bit, we're in that routine phase, as I say, where we've got birds who have got chicks, and we're beginning to ring those. We saw one of those right at the very beginning of this, the opening shots of this video. And then we've got other birds that are just starting to lay and are sitting on eggs, and then some that are newly paired up and just getting ready to go down to breed, or hopefully we're getting ready to go down to breed. Well, as always, if you do enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit the like button, and of course please do subscribe to the channel. All these subscriptions obviously help the channel. But let's go around now and have a quick look at the breeding cages. So as always, let's start with breeding cage number one. This is the yellow-faced grey dominant pied cockbird that did well for me at the Oxford 1910 stock show, and I said we'd give him a go in the breeding cage. He's paired across to a grey, also a yellow face, so a yellow-faced grey hen. Both the two yellow faces are mutant ones, so we should get some more yellow faces out of this pair, touch wood. So that's that's the pair. They went down a few weeks ago, and I did put a video of me pairing those up, and I know a couple of people suggested I should have paired them the other way around, but that's the way I've done it. So we'll see how that particular group get on, or those particular ones get on. This pair went off to a bit of a dodgy start initially. So the hen laid 2 eggs, and after each of them were laid, the following day the egg had gone missing. So again, I wasn't sure which of the birds was doing that. So what I did was I did the old trick with the marble, and I put a marble in the nest box in the hope that if either bird would get bored of trying to get rid of it and would end up sitting, and which is what she's done. She's now sat on 2 eggs, the first of which has been candled and is definitely full. So I'm hoping that the other egg will be full. I've seen I've seen these 2 birds mating fairly regularly, so I'm hoping that, as I say, that the eggs will be full. The third egg that you can see in this nest box is actually from cage 6, and I'll talk a bit about that and why it's in here when we come on to talk about cage 6. So pretty pleased then with how this is turning out, and also happy that the marble trick has worked. So that is my cage 1. So moving on then to cage 2, this is a fairly new pair, and I think we looked at these in the last video. This pair then is a light green cockbird that's actually been in the breeding cage. This is his second partner. Didn't get anything with the first partner, so trying him with a new hen. So a fairly nice light green cockbird. Was feather pupped as a youngster, so you can still see the impact of that on the bird, but other than that, quite a nice bird. And he's paired to a cinnamon grey-green hen, a fairly young cinnamon grey-green hen. I mentioned in the last video that she was just coming into condition, and it still may be a little bit early for this hen. I may have popped her in the breeding cage a little bit early, because she's showing no signs as yet of wanting to go down to breed. She has inspected the nest box. She went in there within a couple of days of it being on there or being open, but she hasn't done anything other than that. So we'll give these a few more weeks, see how they get on. I'm hoping that she will come into condition, or a bit better condition, and we'll go down to breed. So that is cage 2. So cage 3, another new pair, and another pair that we looked at once again in the last video. This is a pair. Both of these birds have been in the breeding cage already once this breeding season, so this is their second time, but they went in with different partners. And once again, I showed these two in the last video. So it's my favourite bird in the sheds at the moment, which is a blue cockbird, which shows lots of potential from my point of view. And he's now paired with a opaline light blue cinnamon bird. So and this pair, both birds, I think I mentioned it in the last video, so they had sort of paired up in the stock cage. When they went in the main flight, found their previous partners, put them back in here. Cockbird's been feeding her, so they're already showing that signs of compatibility. Hen has been in the nest box and started clearing. In fact, while I was videoing, I could hear her scraping around at the bottom of the nest box, starting to clear out some of the wood shavings that are in there. So really hopeful that fairly soon we'll either have signs of this pair mating, or we'll get some eggs in this cage 3. So hopefully we'll get some more youngsters off of this cockbird, and we will keep some of his blood in the stud. So which is what I'm after. So that's cage 3. Looks like it's going to be a success. So turning our attention then to cage 4. This, you will remember, is the outcross pair. So it's an opaline cinnamon sky blue cockbird, which was the outcross that you would have seen earlier, along with another or one of my birds. You'll remember from the last update video, this pair, my bounce back video, this pair had done really well for me. So they had laid a total of 8 eggs, of which all 8 were full. As with all these things, you know, you 1 step forward and 2 steps back. The hen proved to be a little bit of a player, so she played around with the eggs quite a lot. You could hear it, hear her in the nest box, constantly moving them around every time I came into the shed. This meant that although they were all full, only 3 of them hatched. The remainder of them were all addled. Good news is, though, of those 3 that hatched, all 3 are doing really well, and all 3 have been rung. So saw at the beginning of the video me ringing the last of those chicks. Looks as if the first 2 are going to be light green cinnamon. Not too sure about the third one, but that's really good news. I've got some off of this outcross. 3 birds. Let's see how they turn out. Hopefully there will be a couple of keepers in amongst those, just to get that bloodline established in my shed, or re-established in my shed. So that's cage 4. Let's have a quick look now then at cage 5. Cage 5 then, this was the opaline cinnamon grey hen crossed to a cinnamon light green hen. It looked as if this pair was going to do really well for me. So the hen laid 2 eggs initially, both of which were clear. However, she then went on to lay a 3rd and a 4th egg, both of which were full. She then stopped laying after the 4th egg. And you know, this happened, so it wasn't too much of a shock to me. Sometimes hens will only lay 4 rather than a normal 6, and then we saw from the previous cage one that laid 8. So I wasn't too worried about the fact that she'd only laid 4 eggs, and as they were both full, I was hopeful. The first of those eggs went past its hatch date, and it turned out that it was a dead in shell. And the second egg hatched. Unfortunately, the hen didn't feed, and I didn't get to it in time, so that chick died. So a little bit of a setback there. I'm hoping they'll go for a second round. Hen still continuing to show lots of interest in the nest box. Cock's continuing to feed her. Haven't seen them mating, but at the moment there is no sign of the hen laying again. So it may well be that this hen has either had enough of laying or is gone out completely out of condition. I'm going to give them another week just to see how she gets on, see if she does start laying. If she doesn't, then my intention will be to split this pair and see whether we've got anything else to fill this breeding cage. So that is pair 5. You know, looked as if it was going to be a reasonable old pair, but turns out not to be. If they do have a second round, I might well foster the chicks out as they begin to hatch, or foster the eggs just as they're about to hatch. So that's cage 5. So finally moving on then to cage 6. So this pair is a cinnamon sky blue crossed to a dark green hen. You may remember this hen. She's a proven breeder. Unfortunately, in a last time we put her down, she proved to be a feather plucker, plucking both rounds in terms of, so both first and second rounds of chicks. So we put her down again with this cockbird. I did mention I might consider moving the chicks as they hatch, or would find some other way of trying to prevent her from feather plucking. So hen and cock showing a lot of interest in each other. I've even seen the cockbird mating with the hen. Hen went in and obviously cleared the nest box out, looked really hopeful, and then stopped going in the nest box. I then found an egg in the seed dish, so I thought I'll pop that egg into the nest box. I also put a marble in there, hoping to encourage her when she does go into the nest box to start sitting on the eggs. Next day when I checked, she hadn't sat on them. Both egg and marble were stone cold, so she clearly hasn't been sitting on them. I took the egg from there and popped it into cage 3, hence the reason why there's an additional egg in that cage that we spoke about a little bit earlier. I don't know whether that egg will prove fertile or not, whether it will be, or whatever, whether it will come to anything, but don't lose anything by popping it under that that hen and seeing whether she will, if it is fertile, she should be able to bring it up, or bring the chick up if and when it hatches. Hen, no more sign of any more eggs, either in the nest box, in the seed dish, or on the cage floor. So I'm just wondering whether this hen may be, again, like in cage 5, may have just gone out of condition. Don't know. So again, I'm going to give these just one more week. If there's no more sign of any more eggs, then I will split this pair and try this cockbird with another hen, because I wouldn't mind getting something off this particular cockbird. So there you go, that is cage 6. Bit of a mix, I suppose, really, isn't it, in terms of the overall my small number of cages. But like most people, you get a mix of some pairs doing really well and other pairs not. Hopeful for the 2 new pairs, because they're showing really good signs. And since I made the video of cage 2, I've seen the cockbird now feeding the hen, and the hen's definitely going into the nest box. So encouraging signs there as well. Well, there we are. So that's all an update on all of the breeding cages. Well, there we are. That's all we've got time for in this video. But before we go, in a video I did around bits and bobs, where I spoke a little bit about some of the things, some of the tools and gadgets that I use in my shed. I asked for comments about the stuff that you might be using, and I got something back from, I think his title is, let me just double check, it's use code Dan_YT. So Dan, who commented on that one and said, rather than use the scraper, remember I use a scraper to scrape the bottom of the flight floor on my hands and knees, I mentioned, rather than use that, he uses a garden hoe. So here we go, one of these for it, which saves bending down. What a great idea I thought that was. So now this has become my tool of choice for cleaning the bottom of the shed floor. Thanks you very much, Dan, for that very useful tip, and that's what I will use in future now in my shed, to be used, as we say, for scraping that floor. So what have we got coming up in the next couple of videos? Well, the next video is part 4 of my genetics series, so those of you that are enjoying that, and that's coming up in the next one. I know I get a number of comments back on those videos. And then following on from that, of course, we've got the Oxford 19 Den Barhead competition. So of course, if you don't want to miss those, then please do subscribe, and as always, hit the like button. Early notifications is the bell, as I said at the beginning. But until the next video, until those, please do stay safe and enjoy your birds.